Okay, good. Let's kick off then. I think we have a good turnout today. So welcome everybody, and good to have you here for today's Nosto webinar. So my name is Isaac Moshe. That's a little picture of me at the bottom there. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for Nosto, and today I'm going to give you an introduction to Facebook dynamic product ads and show you how you can use them to deliver more relevant retargeting and ultimately higher return on your ad spend. So for those of you that didn't hear the news, Facebook and Nosto have recently updated our relationship status. So as of the 19th of last month, I think it was, we officially became a global Facebook marketing partner. And to celebrate the launch of that partnership, we've been publishing some great new content for all of you guys, including our brand new ebook, the ultimate guide to Facebook dynamic product ads, which today's webinar is going to delve into in more detail. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, highly encourage you to do so. But if you haven't, then no worries. We'll cover a lot of that today in this session. So I'm going to start off today by explaining just the fundamentals of what retargeting is and why it's so valuable for retailers. And I'll then move on pretty quickly to talking about dynamic product ads, DPAs as they're often referred to, and I'll be referring to them, what they are, and some of the most impactful DPA campaigns that you can run. And for that, I'll show some best practice examples that we've seen for you to follow. And then I will conclude on how you can get started running your own DPA campaigns from here. And if there's time at the end, which I am planning on there being, we'll open up to a Q&A for 5 minutes or so. So we're looking around 35 minutes with Q&A. I'll try and keep it. I know everyone's busy, so I'll try and keep it under the half an hour mark. So let's kick off. Let's get started then. I think one of the biggest challenges facing online retailers today, that I'm sure many of you will be familiar with, is the increasing complexity of the buying journey. For a long time, the path to purchase was pretty linear, right? But now it's highly unpredictable and getting even more so. It can be a one-step impulse purchase from the moment visitors arrive on your store, or it can be more like this diagram that you've got here, where shoppers are starting on mobile, continuing on desktop, then head to your physical store to check out the item, and then potentially back online to complete their purchase. And in fact, our research has shown that it takes, on average, 5 visits to an online store before a customer completes their purchase. And it's against this context and that backdrop that retargeting comes in, and really why it's so important. So for those of you not familiar with retargeting and not doing it, which I presume won't be too many of you yet, it's simply a form of digital advertising aimed at shoppers that have already visited your store. So putting your product back in front of them to help them continue their buying journey and increase the likelihood of purchase. And the traditional way of retargeting, and it's still very much the case, I imagine for the majority of campaigns that you guys are running, it's been done by via the use of cookies. So a cookie is just a small file stored on your computer that helps websites identify you as a unique user. And the problem with cookie-based tracking for retailers is that 67% of shopping actually starts on one device but ends up on another. So cookies are unable to connect the dots in the buying journey that I just took you to, that fragmented path to purchase. And in fact, because shoppers are using multiple devices, 74% of them have more than one cookie, and actually 15% have more than 10 cookies. So you can see why that's going to be problematic from a tracking perspective. So we know the problem. Well, what's the answer? Well, I think this is where Facebook comes in, and why it's so important, because Facebook moves away from this traditional cookie-based tracking to people-based tracking. And they do that with the use of user profiles that, importantly, are connected across devices when someone is logged in. And when you have the ability to track a user regardless of which device they use, you can really follow their buying journey from start to purchase. So, in this simple diagram here, for example, we see exactly what cookies cannot do. A user browses for a new dress on desktop, sees an ad for that dress on mobile, shares then that product on the wish list with their social network on a tablet, and then purchases in the mobile app eventually to collect in store. And with individual user profiles, the user's browsing and buying behavior are being tracked across the store, whatever device they're on, and then used to dynamically tailor adverts to them. With simple cookie-based tracking, the journey will most likely have stopped at step one. So you can see now why Facebook is such a powerful advertising platform for retail. But of course, that's just half the story, right? The other half is the audience reach that Facebook boasts. It's now, it's changing so fast, but latest count, 1.8 billion monthly active users, which is it's staggering if you think about it. It's like a quarter of the entire global population on this one channel, and the amount of time they spend as well, equally amazing. On average, 50 minutes a day on Facebook is spent, which is more than any other digital channel. And of course, now with Instagram as part of the package, there's another way to reach 700 million users. And all of this doesn't, even take into consideration the fundamental fact that Facebook and Instagram are really mobile focused, which is super important for you guys as retailers, given that retail traffic on mobile has now eclipsed the desktop, and that's only increasing. So, all in all, I think we're looking at a pretty compelling channel, whatever business you're in, especially for retail. And you just need to know how do you use it effectively in your own business. And that's where DPAs come in, and Facebook dynamic product ads are one of the most effective ways. So let me explain briefly what they are and how they work before jumping into some best practices. So, for those of you not familiar, unlike the more basic static Facebook ads, which like I say the majority of you have probably tried or at least are familiar with, DPAs take into consideration the individual's behavior on your store, allowing you to personalize the ads that you show right down to the individual shopper. And of course, that makes them far more relevant. The customer profiles are built using hundreds of data points from multiple sources, browsing, buying behavior, interaction with emails, where they are in the buying cycle, even what they've done offline. And as I said, that makes them far more relevant, and the impact of that relevance is pretty clear to see when you look at the data. So our friends over at Smartly have shown that the click-through rate for DPAs is 730% greater than static ads. And at Nosto, we've seen an average of 12x return on ad spend for DPAs, meaning that for every $1 you're spending on a Facebook DPA campaign, you're receiving an average of $12 return, making it an extremely highly effective and competitive ad channel. To delve into a little bit more detail regarding dynamic product ads, they enable you to promote your entire catalog automatically. So you don't need to configure each product ad individually. It's done automatically, taking the data from across your store and across the catalog, and I'll show you how that happens in a moment. They target shoppers with the most relevant products according to, as I mentioned earlier, individual browsing and buying behavior. They're delivered and updated in real time, and that real time is really important. So as soon as a user views a product on your store, Facebook will immediately be notified, and that DPA campaign, that dynamic product ad, is going to be ready to display at that time, that same or similar product that they viewed, or Other reason it's super important is if a product is purchased or goes out of stock, it's going to remove those products automatically from the ads being shown. Again, it's maximizing for relevance, and of course, it's naturally going to have an impact on your return on ad spend. Dynamic product ads also allow you to display multiple products to the shopper at the same time. So you can see in this image here, carousel format, you can see the start of there with multiple products. And what that means, again, super important, is that you can also cross-sell and upsell really effectively within these ad formats. So if someone looked at a particular product on your website or your mobile app, and this product doesn't typically convert well, you can automatically show related products from your catalog that maybe do convert well, which will, of course, increase those click-through rates and conversion, and thus ultimately your return on ad spend. And finally, with DPAs, you can reach people cross-device and across Facebook's entire ad offering, which includes Instagram and their audience network, all from that one campaign. So, sounds great. How does it all work? I'm not going into too much detail here. I'll try and simplify the process, but I think it's interesting to know for those of you that don't what's happening under the hood. Start off, you need to set up a tracking pixel on your online store, and that allows you to be able to track the user behavior on your site and then share that user behavior with Facebook. Second part is then sharing your product catalog with Facebook, either by uploading it manually or using a third-party tool. And once they're set up, if a shopper browses your site without making a purchase, the tracking pixel, which is what I mentioned, capturing their browsing and buying behavior, automatically informs Facebook of the user's profile, the products viewed, and then uses a recommendation algorithm to supply alternatives. The shopper then sees that DPA advert showing those products directly within their newsfeed. So that's a little bit of what's happening under the hood without getting too technical. So yeah, we've seen kind of what DPAs are, how they work, and why they're so valuable, especially for retail. I'm now going to get into the meat of it and show you some real examples of campaign types that we've seen work really well at Nosto, and that you can pick up and action from here yourself. So the three most impactful DPA campaigns that we've seen are personal re-engagement ads, abandoned cart recovery ads, and post-purchase ads. And I'm going to take you through examples of all three explanations of what they are and examples of where we've seen them work well. So personal re-engagement ads basically display products that a user has viewed previously on the store but not yet bought. And these guys are a great example of that in action. So New York fashion brand Yumi Kim, they, despite having significant traffic to their online store, the e-commerce team there still wasn't experienced the conversion rates that they knew they were due. So after trying a number of different options, they invested in DPAs with the dynamic product ads with the aim of enticing users back to their store to purchase the products that they've been viewing previously but hadn't yet bought. And on the right here, you can actually see an example of those ads for someone who's come to the site browsing dresses. So you can see here on the left, this darling dress that they were looking at. It not only shows that dress, but also other products highly related to it. So this enchanted dress and the Carly romper. And those recommendations are based on what other customers have been looking at and buying after seeing the same darling dress. And I think the results really speak for themselves here. So Yumi Kim saw a 25x return on ad spend for this campaign type. And needless to say, they still continue to use Facebook DPAs to help shoppers complete their journey and ensure that they're maximizing their customer acquisition costs. Another DPA campaign type performs really well is the abandoned cart recovery ads. As I'm sure many of you are only too aware of, over 70% of carts are abandoned. It's a stat that doesn't really change dramatically kind of year in, year out. And of course, abandoned carts emails are there as an option. And I imagine many of you are using them already. If not, I highly encourage you to look at it. But unfortunately, abandoned cart emails don't always solve that problem. Ultimately, it's only one channel, and due to the low open rates, you're not going to get re-engagement from every visitor. So you need to make sure that you're targeting shoppers on multiple channels. And these guys, Swedish shirts and accessories retailer Eaton, they weren't prepared to be another statistic, another one of that 70%. So they took to Facebook DPAs to solve the problem another way or an additional way. So you can see in the example on the right, this is a shopper who's added this checked Boost blue shirt to their cart, but then abandoned the store. And here, that same shirt is back in front of the shopper again in their newsfeed within dynamic product ad, together with some highly related alternatives. And the alternatives are really important there. It may be that they abandoned their cart because actually they thought, no, it's not really for me in the first place. So just reminding them of the product that they looked at and then abandoned isn't going to help complete the purchase. But showing alternatives they may not have seen but are highly related to that particular product based on user behavior in the store has a big impact on improving conversion. And as you can see here, by reminding those shoppers to go back and purchase items, Eaton saw from this campaign a 19x return on ad spend. So again, really impressive results here from this campaign. So the final ad type I'm going to show you, we've seen perform really well here at Nosto, and we've tested this. We have thousands of retailers using Nosto and several hundred using Facebook ads. So we've gathered a lot of data here to figure out what are the most impactful campaign types and setups. And these post-purchase ads perform really well. They basically display products highly related to the ones the shopper have recently purchased. So I guess the best way to look at this is it's similar to a cross-sell or upsell product recommendations you might see on the cart page, but within an ad format. And that's really impactful. A lot of retailers, well, it's kind of divided opinion as to whether to add these recommendations on the cart page. We've shown it can be very impactful, but some retailers do prefer to keep them away for fear of bounce and impacting conversion on the cart page. So irrespective of whether you have them there, using an ad channel and using the DPA channel specifically as a way to upsell is really powerful. In fact, one of our customers, Cricket Hockey, their goal was to increase their average order value, customer lifetime value. So what you would expect from having exactly the same recommendation on a cart page, and wanted to test post-purchase ads to see if they delivered the same result. And they did. Here's an example of the ad here on the right for a customer who's already purchased from the store. Where that customer is being shown additional cricket bats and pads, reminding them of other great products that Cricket Hockey has to offer, enticing them back to the store to purchase those additional products post-purchase. And like I say, it's a great way of upselling customers. You can see here from the results as well with the 14x return on ad spend. You can see that previous customers were clearly coming back to the store and purchasing those products. Okay, so we've seen three types of high-performing DPA campaigns that you can get started with. Before we move on to the final section of getting started, I'd just like to spend a moment going through a few do's and don'ts to be aware of when it comes to managing these campaigns. Like I said, we've worked with hundreds of retailers running DPA campaigns, so these are the three that have come out as the most common. I think the first is be careful not to retarget shoppers indefinitely. Not only are the buying urges typically stronger during early interactions, of course, but if a lot of time has passed since a customer has viewed an item, it's likely that there's a reason they haven't bought it. maybe they've purchased something else, something similar, or is just no longer relevant to their needs. And based on the data that we've gathered at Nosto, we would recommend retargeting from a maximum of 30 days after they visited your store to optimize for return on ad spend. Of course, it's going to vary depending on what you sell, depending on your brand and your audience. So if you're not sure, then please do reach out, speak to one of the team, whether you're existing. I know we've got a mix on the call of customers and people that haven't started using Nosto yet. But irrespective, we've got a team of really knowledgeable experts on this, and we'll be happy to lend some advice if you're not sure how to optimize the retargeting length. So please do reach out. Second is, unless you're absolutely sure you know what you're doing, avoid manually manipulating your retargeting campaigns. We've seen this a lot, even some people that are really experienced in the ad space. So, when I say manually manipulating, some of the things that we've seen, for example, are promoting products from different ranges to those that the customers have viewed, or trying to increase average visit value by including products with a higher margin. Of course, it makes a lot of sense logically what our retailers have tried to do here, but oftentimes it has backfired. In fact, according to our own analysis, campaigns where retargeting ads have been limited to certain taxonomies tend to produce worse return on ad spend and conversion rates. So I guess the important thing to remember here is that the purpose of these ads really is, keep it simple, is to drive the customers back to your store. So, let them continue their shopping journey, and you do that by highlighting the most relevant items for them. Whereas it's really merchandising and on-site personalization, the tools that you should be using to optimize for profitability and basket value. So word of caution there. And third and finally, while the DPA style is, as you've seen, very visual, with individual product descriptions being pulled in automatically, you still need to consider that accompanying text, and it's super important. So when creating copy for the ad, really make sure that you have one focal point in the creative, and that focal point elicits excitement. It plays on their FOMO, their fear of missing out, or even pulls on the emotional heartstrings. Of course, this is it's a big topic in itself. I'd love to delve into more detail. Don't have time to do it justice today. It's such a big topic, but fortunately for us all, Facebook has created a cheat sheet on this, which we've actually included in our new ebook. So that should help you create effective ad copy. So if you haven't already, please be sure to check that out. Good. So we are coming near to the end of our webinar today. I'd just like to finish by showing you how you get started from here, running your own DPA campaigns in the easiest way possible, so you can take some of these insights, some of these learnings, and actually action them immediately to help you grow your business. One option, of course, is to use the manual setup and management via Facebook. Here you would start by placing the Facebook pixel on your store, set up a connection between your store and Facebook. It does require some knowledge of JavaScript though. Next, Facebook needs to have access to your product catalog. So it ultimately knows which products it has access to, and for that you'd need to export and upload your product catalog to Facebook through the Business Manager. And then once the product catalog has been uploaded, you need to make sure it's constantly maintained to ensure that the products that have been sold out aren't displayed, and that all links to the product pages are up to date and working. And finally, when Facebook updates their API library, which they do, you need to make sure that you have development resources available to handle any of those necessary changes on your side too. So it is complicated, and this is ultimately why we've built our Facebook ads offering. The native, Facebook is a very powerful tool, but the native way of managing DPAs, we heard from many of our customers that the time and complexity associated with that manual setup and ongoing management of the product feed and optimizing DPA campaigns was just too time-consuming, or too laborious. Which is why we developed this solution to simplify the whole process I just took you through, saving you time and resources. And We not only automatically handle all of the ongoing manual tasks and ensure that the product feed is continually updated in real time, but we also offer a really easy to use user interface and wizards to set up your connection to Facebook and then go on to create, launch, optimize your ad campaigns on an ongoing basis without the need for IT or specific advertising expertise. Our aim is to handle the hard work there for you. And that's I guess why Facebook partnered with us, ultimately to make these high-performing dynamic product ads accessible to any retailer from across the globe. And for those of you that aren't already using Nosto, we can be added to any online store, no matter what the platform. We've got plugins for all the major platforms, so Magento, Shopify, PrestaShop, etc. That enable you to get started just at literally 3 clicks. So really good solution for both retailers who are brand new to Facebook DPAs and those that are already using it but want to reduce the amount of manual work necessary to maintain and optimize the ongoing campaigns. And finally, the last thing I want to finish with is, we talked about at the beginning of the webinar that it's really important to remember that Facebook is still just a part of a much more complex buying journey. And our goal at Nosto is to help retailers deliver their customers personalized shopping experiences across the entire customer journey. And by tying these disparate parts of the journey together with a single view of your store and your customers, we make sure that you're not just increasing the return on ad spend, but your customer lifetime value, that all-important metric. And in order to do that, you really need to be thinking about personalizing all touch points. So, whilst Facebook helps you drive more qualified traffic to your store, and DPA campaigns are incredibly effective there, as we've seen, once a shopper has landed on your store from Facebook, you can display a pop-up that captures their email address or offers them a special discount related to that specific Facebook ad campaign. And we've seen that this can have a big impact on increasing conversion, especially for first-time visitors when used in conjunction with Facebook ad campaigns. Next, now that you've got the shopper browsing your store, you need to be making sure that their on-site experience is just as personalized as the ads they were seeing. So using personalized product recommendations, you can ensure that that they're seeing not only the most they're seeing the most highly relevant products across the site and across their shopping experience, which of course with the right set of recommendations will increase both conversion and average order value. And finally, to really maximize customer lifetime value, you need to make sure that you're optimizing for retention too, which is where email performance comes in. So rather than batch and blast emails or using basic segmentation, we make it easy for retailers to add personalized product recommendations to every email, ensuring that you're ultimately speaking to every one of your customers as individuals, which unsurprisingly has a huge impact on email click-through and conversion rates. So I guess to sum it up, the result of all this is unlike standalone ad offerings, we make sure that you're not just driving traffic to your store, but that traffic goes on to convert, so increasing return on ad spend, conversion, and customer lifetime value. And it's this full funnel personalization that we've seen our most successful online retailers really embracing now. Good. So where do we go from here? Well, as I said, we've got a mix of people on the call. For those of you who aren't already using Nosto, it's very easy to start a free trial. We have a full self-service platform, so you can set up a free trial at nosto.com, or if you want to speak to one of our team and one of our experts to get more of a deep dive, then just go to nosto.com and book a one-to-one personalized demo right on the back of this. For those of you that are already using Nosto, you want to try out some of the things we've gone through today that you may not already be doing, simply just get in touch with one of your customer success managers via email or within your Nosto admin, and I'm sure they'll be happy to arrange a session with you in the next few days. Good. So I think we allowed 40 minutes for this, so we have a few minutes left for questions. So I'll open it up now and see what questions we have that's come in via the chat here. Okay. Let's have a look. I'll try and find some nice easy ones for me. Okay, so what is the minimum budget I can invest in Facebook to see meaningful results? Good question. Of course, I guess that depends on what you mean by meaningful. But by any standards, if you see less than 15 to 20 purchases weekly through ads, then it's not really an optimal use of the channel. So you need to be seeing around there what the customer acquisition costs are around those numbers. I guess a good rule of thumb would be spending at least $20 a day, and that's a really bare minimum, closer to 100 to get you started per campaign type, depending on the size and type of your business. So short answer, if you want to start testing, around $600 a month is a pretty good starting point. Okay. What else? Open this one. Hello, is this webinar downloadable? Let me quickly address that one. Yes, we're actually recording it, so we will be sending a video on the back of this, so fear not. And of course, you've got the ebook. Okay, here's a good one. When I increase my daily budget, the cost per click also increases. Why is that? And is there anything I can do to keep the cost constant? Good question. So if you think about it, what you're experiencing actually makes complete sense. So that's something to feel rest assured by. If you're optimizing for an action, which you are here, Facebook's going to show your ad to people that are most likely to perform that action, right? So when you increase your budget, Facebook is expanding the net a bit. So targeting people slightly less likely to convert, hence then you're seeing that increase in CPC. I guess the best solution here is make sure that you're keeping an eye on your audiences and ensuring that they're as relevant as possible at all times, so you can scale your spend as effectively and efficiently as possible. So it is to be expected, but keep an eye on the audiences. It's the quick and dirty answer. Yeah, similar to question that we had this morning actually in Europe. Can you deliver DPAs on Instagram, and how does performance compare between Instagram and Facebook? So yeah, like I said earlier on, you can deliver dynamic product ad campaigns on Instagram. And I said they've got a pretty sizable audience now, 700 million plus users. In terms of like relative performance, we've actually seen performance in terms of return on ad spend from Instagram pretty much on par with what we've seen on Facebook. Of course, it's going to be related to your own offering and audience. Given the audience and medium, the very visual medium Instagram, of course, it's going to work really well in fashion. Other verticals, maybe less so. I guess the thing is you need to test it out. One thing that we do say to bear in mind is from a technical perspective, you do need high-res images for Instagram. So like I said, the best thing to do is put a little bit of budget behind it, see whether it's the right channel for you. We actually recently launched, we haven't publicly announced it, so I guess this is a sneak preview here. Now that you've asked the question, we recently launched Instagram ads in beta as part of our Facebook ads offering. So yeah, if you do want to test the channel for yourself, but you're not sure if you've got the right image resolution, then yeah, please do feel free to reach out to one of the team and we can check that for you. And if you are an existing customer and you haven't started using Instagram ads, then just get in touch and we can invite you to the beta. Good, lots of other questions. I'm conscious of time. We are coming up to that 40-minute mark. So what I will do is I will pass on the questions that I haven't had a chance to answer to our team, and make sure that we get in touch with each and every one of you. But other than that, thank you very much all for your time. Thanks for joining today. If you have any further questions, then please do reach out and we'd be happy to answer them. So thank you very much and have a great day.